Chapter 22. The Death of Joseph. In the quiet stillness of Joseph's sleeping chamber, as the twilight deepened into solemn night, Mary and Jesus stood together in a moment heavy with foreknowledge and tender grief. Mary's eyes, filled with both sorrow and steadfast faith, fell upon her beloved husband and Jesus' earthly father, Joseph, whose life was nearing its final hour. In a voice trembling with both love and resignation, she spoke softly to Jesus. "I see that the time of Joseph's passing is near, as you have planned for your servant. Let his death be as precious to you as his life, for he was my husband and the earthly father you chose to honor." Jesus, in the quiet moments of impending loss, replied with gentle assurance, "I will assist and assign him a place among the princes of my people, so exalted that he shall become the admiration of angels and cause all men to break forth in the highest praise." His words, calm yet filled with divine promise, seemed to bridge the gap between mortal sorrow and heavenly hope. For several long, poignant days, Mary and Jesus remained by his side, tending to him with tender care. The chamber, dimly lit by a single flickering candle, bore silent witness to the whispered prayers and the soft murmur of farewell. Joseph, frail and yet dignified, summoned the strength to speak his final words. "Blessed art thou among all women, and elect of all the creatures. May angels and men from every generation come to praise and exalt thy dignity. I hope to behold thy glorious countenance in the heavenly fatherland." Mary, tears glistening in her eyes, tenderly took his hand and kissed it as if to seal their lifelong bond. Then, stepping back with both sorrow and resolve, she allowed Jesus to draw near. With a profound mixture of love and filial duty, Jesus gathered his weakened father into his arms. As Joseph reclined his head, their eyes met. A silent conversation of gratitude, hope, and farewell passed between them. Joseph's voice was faint, each word filled with deep reverence. "Forgive and bless your servant, the work of your hands. I praise you and give thanks forever for choosing me to be the husband of your mother. Let your greatness and glory be my eternal gratitude." His voice, imbued with a quiet ecstasy, seemed to echo in the small room as he surrendered himself to the inevitable. Moved beyond measure, Jesus spoke with a clarity that resonated with both mortal love and divine authority. "My Father, rest in peace and in the grace of our eternal Father and mine. And to the prophets and saints awaiting thee in limbo, bring the joyful news of the approach of their redemption." At these sacred words, Joseph's entire being was suddenly engulfed in a magnificent, radiant light. His face, once etched with the lines of earthy toil and tender love, now shone with an ecstasy that transcended mortal sorrow. In that blinding splendor, Joseph's spirit departed, leaving behind a silence that was as profound as it was beautiful. Jesus, with gentle care, closed his father's eyes and pressed a soft kiss to his lips, while tears, silent and unceasing, flowed freely from both Mary's and his own eyes. And so in the quiet sanctity of their small chamber in Nazareth, the legacy of Joseph was mourned and exalted. His earthly departure was not an end, but a prelude to a new chapter, a chapter in which his memory, like a gentle guiding star, would forever illuminate the path of faith for his beloved family. Mary, radiant with both sorrow and grace, and Jesus, now a man fully aware of his destiny, continue to honor Joseph's legacy through every act of love, every word of prayer, and every humble labor in the days that stretched forward into eternity. Thus passed the earthly life of Joseph. And in the ensuing years, a deep and transformative change settled over Nazareth. For the remaining 6 years, Mary and Jesus carried on in a quiet rhythm of daily life. Each day a prayer, each moment an act of remembrance. Their home, though touched by the sorrow of loss, shone with the abiding light of faith and the subtle assurance of divine promise. In a humble chamber later, Jesus knelt in earnest prayer before Mary, with his arms outstretched in the sign of the cross. He lifted his voice in a heartfelt supplication. O blessed cross, when will your arms hold mine? When will I rest upon you, my hands nailed, open to embrace all sinners? Come, children of Adam, for I call you all. I am the way, the truth, and the life, and I will not refuse anyone who seeks me. My eternal Father, these are the works of your hands. Do not turn them away. I will offer myself as a sacrifice upon the cross to bring them back to justice and freedom. If they are willing, I will lead them to your heavenly kingdom, where your name will be glorified. As Jesus prayed, Mary watched over him with a heart both proud and pained. On his face, beads of blood began to form once again, a reminder of both sacrifice and sorrow. This time, Mary did not wipe away her tears. Instead, with the raw sorrow of a mother's heart, she spoke in a soft, pleading voice. O children of men, do you not see how deeply the Lord values his image within you? If only I could unite your hearts with mine so that you might love and obey him. Blessed are those who remain faithful to their Father, honored by his right hand. O eternal God, how can mortals turn away from such a perfect love? If only I could give my life to save them from their blindness. Let them turn their cruelty upon me, insult and afflict me as they wish, but give to my beloved Lord what is rightfully his.